Hi, I'm Samantha of Goddess Awakening. I'm here to hold a safe space and share with you the true and authentic stories of how we got here. Empowering women, elevating for all. Hello, welcome to another episode of Goddess Awakening. This is episode 21, and I have a guest from Arkansas today. Hello, Yaris. How are you today?
Hello, Samantha. I'm doing very good. I'm very excited to be here.
Yeah, I'm glad we got to finally connect. We've chatted a bunch online and the interwebs and really never got to connect one-on-one. So this is our first time and I'm excited to get to know you more.
Right. Get the raw version of me.
Yeah. So you're in Arkansas. Tell us a little bit about where you're at and what you're doing.
So I am based out of Little Rock. Central Arkansas is the primary area. And I am the founder of Yaris Productions. We run EDM events and also management here in Central Arkansas. We host shows all over the state though. And we're really excited about getting things going here.
Awesome. Yeah. You've been growing pretty rapidly from what I can see over here in Oklahoma. And I'm excited because this year we're going to work together on some collab events. And I actually just connected one-on-one with House of Unts crew, who's also in Arkansas. So be on the lookout for some really cool collabs in the Arkansas area with all these awesome ladies working together.
Yeah, people don't think that cool stuff comes out of Arkansas. We like to prove them wrong every time.
Yep. Yeah, typically when I get on the calls, I'm in this one group. It's called The Coven. Actually, if you're interested in joining, let me know and I can send you some invites.
Okay.
But it's basically collectives that help represent the underrepresented across the country. So it's like what we are doing.
Yeah,
but it's
I love that.
mostly like New York based and California based and some Denver based, but you don't get a whole lot of, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri area type people showing up in those spaces. So I'm happy that we get to represent this. What did Jordan call it last night? The Southern Midwest, the Southern Midwest.
Okay, yeah.
Something like that. Yeah. It's debatable what we are, South, Midwest. We're kind of the Bible Belt. That's usually what comes up for Oklahoma.
Bible
I'm sure
Belt,
Arkansas is the same way. Yeah.
And it's so funny because when I moved here, because I'm from Florida, I was like, what does that mean? Because I don't know if you knew this, but South Florida is its own country. It's not connected to the United States at all. I don't care what anyone says, but yeah.
So where in Florida are you from?
I was born and raised in Miami. My mom is from Nicaragua. My dad's from Cuba. And they met in Miami and had moi. I lived there up until I was 15, and then we moved to Arkansas. So I've about lived half of my life in Miami and now the other half in Arkansas.
Very cool. Very different places.
Extremely different. I remember when I first moved here, the thing to do in Miami when you meet someone, you kiss them on the cheek for the first time, whether it be a male or a female, it's usually the custom thing. And I remember when I moved here, I was doing that in my sophomore year of high school. And there were some people that were like, do you have a crush on me? What are you doing? Why do you keep kissing me on the cheek? And I was like, that's just how we Miamians greet people. So it is, it was definitely a culture shock, but I think now I'm very grateful for done the move, because I don't think the opportunities that I have now I would have had in Miami at all. So things work out for the best.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So do you go back to Miami often? Do you have family there?
Yeah. I have, my dad is still down in Florida. I've got cousins. I've got a whole side of the family down there. So I try to go at least once or twice a year, just to be able, meet up with some friends and see some family and just reconnect. I have to claim Arkansas at this point, but up until 3 years ago, I did not claim Arkansas. I was Floridian 1000%, and I've felt the groove of things kind of change around. So it's nice to call Arkansas home.
Yeah. My grandma and grandpa live in Homosassa Springs, Florida, which is not Miami at all, obviously.
No.
But I've definitely spent quite a bit of time in that part of Florida, kind of like Tampa, Orlando, the Bay Area, basically. But I love going, and they have a wildlife preserve there, Homosassa Springs Wildlife Preserve, and there's just like tons of manatees everywhere in the
Yeah.
springs, and it is the
My
coolest thing.
dad, he lives by Gainesville, and that's where they have a lot of the water springs, like the clear springs. So people will go out there and swim, and there's like caves and stuff. It's really cool. So Florida
Ooh.
has, it has its cool spots. It might be like underwater in the next 5 to 10 years, but enjoy it while you can.
Yeah. What area did you say that was?
That was in Gainesville. It's like upper
Gainesville.
Florida, almost by the Panhandle. Yeah,
Okay. Is
yeah.
that like, is it Ginny Springs? Is
Yeah,
that
I
Guinea
think
Springs?
Genie, your Guinea Springs, one of those. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's an
hmm
area that I have not been yet that I really want to go check out sometime. It looks magical.
It's beautiful. It's very, I don't know, I got like ancestral vibes down there.
Yeah.
Very historic. So it was really nice. Yeah, yeah.
Well, yeah. Florida's okay. Florida's not bad. I always said I would not live there. It's kind of like Texas. I don't want to live in Texas, but like I have friends there and I'll go visit, but they've tried to convince me to move there many times. And I'm like, I'm
If
not
anything,
moving
I
to
try to
Texas.
convince like my Florida friends. I'm like, man, Arkansas is not that bad. It's way cheaper to live here than you would ever
Yeah.
consider. So it's fun, but I don't see myself moving back to Florida, at least South Florida. It's its own world, like I said before. So things be popping off
Yeah, I don't think
and
I've actually been to Miami. And like as a 21-year-old party girl back in the day, I was always like, that sounds like a fun time. But now that I'm like, I don't drink alcohol anymore and I'm 33 and I like to sit on my couch a lot more. Like, I don't know if I could hang in Miami.
it is, even now, like my best friend says that I lost my Miami card because I don't really like go out that much anymore other than to like you're, hosting events and stuff. So anytime I go out, I'm like, okay, let's make it worthwhile. Just because I'm only over there for once or twice a year, and but even though like I was from there, and I've gone there, been going back like the whole time that I've been here, there's always a new spot that I can find, whether it be like food, activity. Always got to go to the beach, but there's always something new
I
to
bet
do.
the
So.
food's really good. I feel like there's probably lots of variety of food, right?
Oh my goodness, yes. Cuban food is top tier in my category always. And there's not really any Cuban spots here in Arkansas. There's one in Bentonville for sure, but that's only whenever I get a chance to get up there. Um, so yeah, I love me some Cuban food, some Cuban coffee, anything else that I can find, like Colombian food. They got it down. So yeah.
One of my friends, actually one of my friends that wants me to move to Texas from Texas, he texted our group chat not too long ago and was like, I want to go back to Colombia for my birthday. And we're like, what? Like he literally just had a baby like 2 months ago. I'm like, is your wife going to let you go to Colombia right now?
Hey, I've been to Colombia. It is fun. It is, the way I described it, I was like, it's like Miami, but on a way cheaper budget.
Okay.
So, you get the same feeling. You get the beaches, you get, depending on what part of Colombia you go, but, you get like skyscrapers, tours, the whole thing. It was so much fun.
That
Yeah.
does sound cool.
Back when
I
the
haven't.
economy wasn't in shambles and people could actually travel all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. Flights are definitely more expensive than they have been in the past. We were looking at some flights just last night. We've got some adventures planned for 2025, and we found some good flights out west for a pretty good price, but going east, it was like way more. It was almost double. So I'm not
hmm
sure what the deal is with that, but
Yeah, it is weird nowadays, honestly. I'm just like, okay, let's hunker down and see what we can make happen this year.
yeah. Do you have any big travel plans for this year so far?
So far, no. I think usually I may try to step off my birthday. It's in July, so it's like summertime, beach time. We were thinking about Puerto Rico, but we may try to go somewhere like Jamaica or something. So we'll see. I love a good Caribbean vacation.
Yeah, I've only been that direction via a cruise, so I've never like actually flown and stayed. It's always been like a stop off
A stop,
destination.
yeah.
Yep. Jamaica, I can't remember exactly where we were, but I remember I was there with my 2, like, roommates at the time, and it was I'm a girl, and it was 2 of my male roommates. And I remember a bunch of the locals were trying to, like, sell us all kinds of drugs at the beach. I remember that.
I've heard like from other friends, like the moment you step out of the airport, they're out there
Mhm.
just trying to, and I'm like, well, that's not the craziest thing I've experienced. I've been to a music festival before.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but hopefully that, comes to fruit and we can get some time out the country and whatnot, Got
Yeah, we
some big
did
events planned this year, so we'll see.
yeah, definitely. We did Germany and then Amsterdam, last spring, so it's almost a year now, and I'm like, "Can we go back now?" But, you gotta spread it out. Those trips aren't cheap.
Mm-mm,
But like I said,
no.
we've got a bunch of big things planned for this year. We just had our Got Us Away to Keegan call last night, and I was like, "Okay, guys, get out your pens and papers and read you all the places we're gonna be this year, and if you wanna come." Um, but yeah, we're excited to also, like, work in with our road 2 stops, like, visiting family. So I've got family in
Yeah.
California and people on the East Coast, pretty much all over, but we haven't seen our East Coast people in a while, so I think we're manifesting a East Coast stop and then just doing, like, a little road trip, and I've always wanted to go to Salem, Massachusetts, which is just outside
Ooh,
of Boston. So I'm
yeah.
gonna go get a little witchy over there while we're up there.
Okay. Hey, it's long. I'm not a fan of the cold, so I don't like traveling around this time of the year. So, if anything, I'd be like, okay, let's do that in like April, something around there. But just the way that it goes sometimes.
Did you guys get a bunch of snow here recently?
We did. We in Little Rock, I think it got up to 9 or 10 inches.
Oh, wow.
And, I hunker down. I don't leave my house. I don't even try. I don't have a 4x4 either. So, yeah, that car is not moving. As I always like to say, my Florida ass does not belong in the snow. So,
It's
yeah,
probably for
but it
the
was
best, though.
fun. It's nice to have a little recharge and just look at it, do snow stuff.
Mhm.
But yeah,
I
yeah.
really wanted to build a
Hopefully,
snowman, but we didn't do it, and it
I made a
melted.
mini one. I didn't do a big one. I have seen some pictures though of people like they'll make like sculptures. I saw a dragon one. I saw like a turtle one. Like big like
So
snow
cool.
sculptures. I'm like that's so cool.
That's a lot of
Yeah,
dedication, like, a
I
lot.
agree. I'm like yeah, they have kids.
Put them to work. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yep. Yep.
We used to build, like, forts and stuff when we were younger, but I feel like we also used to get a lot more snow, which I was in, the Tulsa area growing up, but I feel like we used to get a lot more snow as kids, like, it would be, like, a pretty normal thing to, like, be able to build, like, a fort and like a hill, basically. You
Like
could
an
build
igloo
all
or
kinds of
something.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
But my
Yeah.
my older brother definitely helped out a lot with that looking back. I'm like, he probably did a lot more of the work than we did.
Yeah, it was fun to just like dress up and like be like a little kid and go play outside, that was fun. But I think we endured 30 to 45 minutes of that. And then I was like, okay, I'm wet, let's go inside.
Yeah, it was fun though. And I
Uh,
have a big dog and she loves playing in the snow and laying in the snow, so that was fun too. But I
we
melted.
ended up getting lucky because by the time I think it was Saturday, most of it had melted and we had a show in Conway that night. So thankfully, people were able to get there safe, get home safe, and still kind of dance the cabin fever out of them.
Nice. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good timing. So tell
Yeah.
us about that event. What did you do for that one?
So for Conway, we this is where we host our boiler room shows. Because it's perfect. You have the DJ in the middle, the crowd just kind of surrounds them, and it's a really good vibe in there because they don't tend to get too packed. So we have people flowing in the back. We got people up and close to the DJ. We also have vendors to the side, so it gives it like a really nice community feel to it. The
Very cool.
energy in the room was great.
That's awesome. Yeah, I
Yeah.
always love having vendors and, like, some other activities for people to do outside of just, like, going and drinking beer. Because, like I was
Yeah.
saying, I don't drink alcohol anymore, and since then I've noticed, well, I really stopped drinking primarily because I noticed I was drinking because I was dealing with suppressing my social anxiety. So alcohol without it, and then we're going to these social settings, I'm like, well, what do I do with my hands? Like, I get so awkward sometimes, which is funny because, I'm the one hosting events and talking to people, and I'm supposed to be, this outgoing person, but I've definitely realized that without alcohol, I'm a lot more introverted and I like more of my own me time, but I still love throwing events, don't get me wrong. But I also am just like, but I don't want to try and do something like every weekend. Like, people are like, oh, we want to throw events every single weekend. And I'm like, no,
No,
I
that will
can't.
wear you out. It'll wear
Yeah,
anyone out, honestly, unless you have like a solid group of people that can help you, every week on that. And, I learned that the hard way because whenever we started throwing events, I was like, if we could fill up like at least every other weekend or something like that, that did catch up just energy wise and routine wise and stuff. So I think now we have a good spacing, and there's also other collectives in the area throwing shows, so that it doesn't put all the pressure on me. And I love to just go out and have like a night out, no responsibilities of events and stuff like that. So it's nice being able to step out and also enjoy. Well, also like seeing like the community grow. Like that is one thing that wasn't really present when we started doing Yaya shows, and from them we've been able to see other groups grow, and it's just like it's beautiful to watch because it's like dang, like what would we have done had like we not started?
right.
And yeah.
When did you get started with this project?
We got started with the Yaris project in February 2022, and I actually love sharing the story because it started out as just like a simple little Subtronics was coming into town, and I lived in a 1-bedroom apartment. And I was like, man, I want to have like a little after party or something, but I really do not want all these people in my apartment. And it's so funny because the venue that we use the most of the time now, and I work really great with, I used to shit on it so much just because of the type of the people that would show up. I'm like, man, I don't want to deal with these like, older men trying to flirt with girls and stuff. But once we got like the crowd situated and we got, like the people that we wanted in there, it turned out to be a great spot.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And what venue is that?
This is Pizza D's in Little Rock. It's like close to UAMS here. And it's mainly like I would describe it as like a dive bar.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm down for some pizza. I always like to have snacks at bars.
Their food smacks. Their wings, their nachos, everything. Like they throw it down in the kitchen.
That's awesome.
They really do. Yeah.
Because people get hungry,
You always get some food. Yep. Or my thing is like, you're prepping for an event. You got to do this. I get off work. I always forget to eat.
Yep.
So when I go there, I'm like, oh, okay, please give me some wings.
Yes, I love wings. Yeah. I'm definitely a wings girl. Usually my boyfriend, if he could pick, he's going to pick pizza. He's always going to pick pizza. And I'm more often than not going to pick wings. So pizza and wings. I'm here for that.
Yeah. Best combo, man. And then, they're great people to work with. They're super chill, and any issue or obstacle we've been able, to get over with and smoothly. And, it's been great working them.
That's awesome. I know you said you like going out and just like having no responsibilities and enjoying events. So my question is, do you catch yourself, because you do throw your own events, like critiquing other events?
I try my best. No, I try to take like the event coordinator cap off. Yeah. But there are some moments where I'm like, this could have been done this way and this could have been done that way. Or my favorite thing is like, let's say I'll go to like a festival or a big show out of town or something. I'm always like, how much of their budget was, left to this, and how much did that cost? And what, dang, like those monitors are huge, how did they set those up? That's, where my mind goes to. And like, no matter how much I try to take the hat off, that question always pops up because, we live that reality now. So it's definitely an interesting perspective because, I'll be talking to friends and I'm like, who do you think did those visuals? Just stuff like that like someone just going to enjoy a show wouldn't think of it,
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've noticed it's like I wouldn't say it's hard for me to enjoy my time, but yeah, like what you said, it's like I'm just kind of like running numbers in my head or like figuring out like how did they pull this off or like how much but I mean, I've been to EDC Vegas a couple of times working with ground control and I get my favorite part is always when they take us out the day before the festival starts and walk us around the grounds, like while people are like still building stages. And the stages there are insane. And I'm over here like, man, how many people did it take just to build these stages? Like, how much did they spend on production? Like, how much money did they bring in to the festival? So yeah, I definitely catch myself analyzing.
Yeah, and I remember like because I went to EDC Orlando this year, and my like when I was just like looking around, I'm like, where did they find all these people to set all this up? Just stuff like that. Like, it's crazy. The festival industry is huge, and it's taken a dip the last couple of years. I think just economy, COVID wasn't the best. People are just trying to get back up, but I will say, and I think it has benefited groups like us because we've been able kind of to just go under and like come out from the surface and be like, hey, no, we're still here. And it definitely, I feel like the settings have like shifted throughout the country and specifically in the South, honestly, because we tend to be a little overlooked whenever it comes to events and shows like that. And now, because of groups like us, we've been able to actually like bring attention to Arkansas and other states. So it's been really cool to watch.
Yeah, it's fun booking for Goddess Awakening. The venue we use is in Hartman, which is no one's heard of Hartman, Arkansas. Um
No, but
and
hey,
then you're
that's where
like,
I went
okay,
to my
so
first festival, so it's
oh,
it's out there. Yep.
yeah, it's a good spot. It really is. But it's like, yeah, the closest airport's gonna be like an hour and a half ish, but it's fine. Like, it's fine. I promise we're real and it's okay. And like, we're not taking you in the middle of nowhere. Um, we did just lock in our first headliner. I can't tell you who, but it's by far the biggest person I've ever booked. So I'm super duper excited. I feel like we just like stepped up for year three. And like, working with agents is sometimes very stressful. Negotiation just gets me like stressed because I'm like, what if I tell them too low? What if I tell them too high? What if they're just taking advantage of me? Um, but I had a really good call with Paige, who runs Playthink in Kentucky, and she really like talking to her. First of all, was amazing, and she's about to be in year 14 of her festival, so obviously she's doing it and she's doing a great job. But also to have another woman to look up to who's doing the things that I want to do, it's like that is hard to find in this industry.
Yes, it
And she just
is.
really like gave me a lot of my power, or reminded me of my power to like reach out to agents, and they get to give you their time, because at the end of the day, we want to give you money. But we also have to make it make sense for our budgets and like what we can afford. And like, we're a year three event. Don't say festival if you're trying to book artists, especially as you're a growing event. We learned that because they hear festival and they think, Coachella. And we're like, no. This is not Coachella. But let me tell you why you do want to play, and like empowering women. And that's, those are the people that we're wanting to bring into the festival. So super excited. The agent was actually really great to work with. And we came to an agreement. So March 3rd, we'll be announcing our full lineup is the plan. So everyone can be like, okay, cool. I'm going to buy a ticket because I'm not
Okay.
going to miss that. So March 3rd is our
Yeah.
date.
I'm looking forward to that. I think, it's definitely been an experience. My, biggest takeaway is it does not hurt to ask.
Mm-hmm.
It
Yeah.
does not hurt because, they might not be thinking of you, but you thinking of them, they'll think of you. It's just the way, and I've learned that like there's definitely been some hiccups down the road, some things that I wasn't even aware of. And that led me to, looking out for a mentor and seeing advice from like other groups and other people that I have, walked the same path that I have. And it's comforting knowing that the help and advice is there, but it's like, I don't know, you feel like you're discovering like a new land to some degree, you know. There's things you got to work out and like quirks and stuff, but overall, like the experience has been great. I've learned so much that they don't teach you in school. They don't teach you, you know, it's like you got to learn just by doing it. And I think that has been one also like a bigger push for me because, you know, when I started Yayas, I was working from home and you know, I had thankfully so much time on my hands to be able to actually like do both. Now that I'm working like a full-time in-person job, I'm glad I had that time to be able to set up those systems, you know, so that now, you know, yes, like it can be a little time consuming, but I already know how it works. So it's not, you know, the biggest ordeal, but yeah, it's all of it has been a learning process. I'm happy to like, I don't know, like go through the bumps sometime because I know it's just going to teach me something for later down the road that I'm going to need. And yeah, it's been fun. It's been real fun.
Yeah, it's definitely nice to have like mentors or people that you can like count on. Because we have to deal with some stuff that like you can't prepare for. Like you said, like you
No.
don't, there's no classes for this, there's no like online training. You just, like I said, you have to experience it. And I know we both could tell stories for days of things
Oh,
we have
yes.
experienced. And sometimes it's with people that, you know, we don't know. And then sometimes it's with people that we do know, for me, that part's been, especially most recently, been like the hardest thing to work through when it's like people that you know and trust and love. And then, you know, you're also running a business. So, you know, you have to set boundaries and figure out what that looks like with your friends, and like you hope that all of your friends care about your passion as much as, you know, you do, because at the end of the day, my goal is to bring in jobs for everyone. But it does take a lot of free work right now to, you know, put in the effort to make things happen. Yeah, I'm
Oh,
being very
yeah.
vague, but I know you know what I'm
No,
saying.
it's okay. I can, you know, the first year that I started doing yayas, it sounds so unfortunate to say, but I lost most of my friend groups. And it's because they didn't, you know, they didn't really see into the vision. They didn't really believe in it. And I wasn't going to be hanging around people that didn't believe in me. And I'm so thankful that happened because the people that I have in my life now, they're supportive. They will help me with anything. You know, they'll be the first one at shows. They'll help me take down equipment and stuff. And it's like, man, those other group people would have never done that for me. You know, it was just, it was too much to ask to share a post back then. So, you know, I couldn't depend on those people. And I'm so glad and thankful for my friend group now and my family as well, man. People don't know this, but my mother has sponsored so much of Yaya's events, you know, and it's just like, you know, she believes in me. And like, without that support system, without, you know, my boyfriend right now, I don't think I'd be able to do half the stuff that I do. So I'm very
Yep.
grateful for them.
Shout out to the boyfriends, because mine is
Shout out
also
to the
very
boyfriends.
supportive in lots of ways for sure. So I
Oh,
resonate with
yeah.
that as well. How
Man,
long have you guys been together?
we will have been together for a year and a half next month.
Okay.
Um,
So kind of
and
in the
it's
middle of you doing the project, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah. I had already started Yaya. I was already doing events and stuff, and then around October of last year, kind of, is when we started, you know, dating and stuff. And he wasn't a raver. He did not know EDM. He did not know, you
Oh,
know,
wow.
anything. And now he's like, I can't wait to see Zed's dead next month. Let's go to EDC. Let's do all these things. So I'm like, I basically gave birth to you. You know, but like it's so fun like having him around and being able to do these events and travel and stuff. It's been a great time.
Yep, I definitely understand. We've been together for a little over 2 years now,
Okay.
and I started Goddess Awakening at the beginning. Well, the festival was held the beginning of 22. So we actually met the end of 22. And funny thing, so we didn't know each other. And I was living in California at the time, and we were going to do a road to, someone offered to do a road to in Oklahoma. And I was like, sure, why not? I was like, I can't be there, but I'm definitely down if you guys want to like help promote my event. And my boyfriend played that event at the road too, but we didn't meet until like almost a year later.
Oh,
So it
wow.
was super crazy, like full circle experience.
They have,
But we met on
what is it
Tinder.
called? Invisible strings connecting you.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So we've been in each other's like kind of circles for a long time. But I also went through a divorce in that 22-ish time frame. So if you go to the beginning of this podcast, I tell the whole story. So it was kind of like I started this podcast, and it was kind of like a way for me to get like talk through the stuff that I had been through. So it was kind of like therapy, honestly. I haven't really re-listened to the episodes, but I tell my whole story. So if you're interested, it's there.
Hey, I'm gonna go sip the tea later.
Yeah, it's fun too, because I talk about Goddess Awakening and like how that all happened. And then in 2022 I did like 14 music festivals and was just traveling literally everywhere. But last year my word of the year was balance, so I did less festivals and probably just as much traveling but less driving. I think I put on like 30,000 miles or something crazy on my car that year, maybe more, I don't remember. But yeah, now I have Brian, and my best friend's name is also Brian. So we joke that there's best friend Brian and boyfriend Brian.
Well,
And
it's
they both
funny.
help with the festival.
I have had a dog. His name is Tony. He's 16, turned 17 this
Oh,
year.
wow.
And my boyfriend's name is Anthony, but he goes by Tony. So it was so funny whenever we were hanging out, like the first, like, just getting to know each other. And I was like, Tony Baloney. That's my dog's nickname. My boyfriend looked at me and he was like, who gave him that nickname? And I was like, I did, like, whenever he was born. I've had this dog my whole life. And he was like, well, that's my childhood nickname, so you got to change that or something. I was like, man, nah. He's older
That's
than me in dog
crazy.
years, so.
What kind of dog is it?
Tony is a Chiweenie, so he's half
Aw,
Chihuahua, half Weenie.
cute.
He has no teeth. They're all
Oh,
gone, but he's the love of my life. Yeah. The dog
that's
has
so
my whole
sweet.
heart. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my dogs are my children, so
Yeah. Yeah.
understand.
Yes. We're currently fostering Benji. He's a
Oh,
cat. I don't think he's around here right now. But so yeah, we like to keep some animals in the house, makes it nice and comfy, and gotta love them. So,
yeah. Yeah, we have 3 cats and 2 dogs right now.
that is a
So, yep,
farm.
it's a lot. I don't recommend 3 cats, like, 2 is the
Oh
limit.
yeah.
2 is the limit.
Thankfully, I gave up on like normal litter boxes, and I have a litter robot, and that's the only thing
We've
keeping
been
me
talking
sane.
about getting one of those. We need to do it.
It's worth the investment. It is so worth the investment. Oh my God. Yeah.
Yep.
I will always,
All right. He's been talking about it, but
litter boxes, normal ones, they're not my best friend.
yeah, they're not fun.
No.
Yeah. All right, I'll go tell Brian. I'm like, you know what? You're right. We should get some of those.
Hey, vouched. Oh man.
So what events do you have coming up here soon?
So coming in hot and heavy, Yayas is helping promote the Yellow Brick Road tour for Dance Festovia. And that's this Thursday here in Little Rock, so 2 days from now.
Oh, cool.
And that one's gonna be a fun one because usually for the road tours, like there's certain DJs that haven't played out in public yet. So I'd like to connect with some of them and have them come out to shows. So I just see it as like a big networking event. There's some people that are coming out to support, their DJ friends that probably don't go to EDM events a lot. So lovely way to introduce them to community. And I'm really excited about that one.
Yeah.
And then on the come up, I also cannot say who it is that we have booked up, but it is also someone that I'm very proud to have booked. And I think Central Arkansas is going to be a little shook whenever they see the booking because it's a big one.
Cool.
So yeah.
Awesome.
Hmm.
Can we know when this will happen?
This will happen approximately around the May, June area.
Okay, cool.
Yes. Hmm.
Perfect.
Yeah, we're still working on securing a firm date, but everything's in the works, and so, and I
Awesome.
think that's like one of the hardest things for me is like keeping and holding on to the
Mhm.
secret of something because I'm like,
Yep.
oh man, if people knew, they would be so excited. Da, 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 da. But I've learned that it's best to just wait until everything is locked in and announced and stuff because things can go wrong, and it's yeah. We know. Speaking of, recently I had Artifacts out of Australia. He was
Very
going to come
cool.
through Little Rock, and the venue that we had him at, they foreclosed, and they had
Oh,
an eviction
dang.
notice on the door, and very sudden, excuse me. So it's just some of the things that you just gotta like learn as you go, and it sucks, but you had no control over that. So you know, got to deal with rescheduling and flights and all this stuff. So it is not for the faint of heart.
No.
Not at all.
No. Yeah, we
Mm-mm.
one of our headliners for last year, Beat Kitty, she ended up getting COVID, so she
Oh,
actually didn't make
wow.
it out to our festival.
Yeah.
So that was super sad, but she thankfully was very awesome and nice to work with and was like, obviously I'll send the money back and whatever cuz I didn't make it cuz you never know.
Yeah.
But that's why contracts are so important. I love
Very
contracts.
important. Yeah. Yeah. Gigwell is a best friend. And yeah, that's also something when I was like starting off and I was presented a writer, I was like, what is this? I never heard of this before, and then you just start doing your research, you're like, oh, okay, okay. And that's where the mentors come in and the people, the support system and stuff, because man, and here's like, I always think about like things in phases, okay? And if you would have given phase one Yaya's Productions the booking of now, we would have flopped it. We wouldn't have had the equipment, we wouldn't have had, the experience, all that. So you got to go through the phases in order to get to the big jackpot. It's
Yeah, I
just,
love that.
mhm.
Cuz I definitely year 1 of Goddess Awakening, I was doing it with basically my 2 production people who, one of them has since passed, unfortunately, but the other one is still my production guy, business partner, best friend. And then my friend Brian, who doesn't know anything about any of this. And he was like, I'll help you with whatever you need, basically. And he did. We both just figured out everything. But I remember I didn't know, speaking of writers, I didn't know what a CDJ was. I was like, what is this? Like, what are these, like, what is happening? Why are they asking me for
Yep.
this? And Turner, my production guy, was like, don't worry about it. Just send me those writers. We'll handle that. Don't worry about it. And I was like, okay. But now I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm DJing now, which is hilarious because I didn't really plan that, but it just happened. It's I'm around music all the time. Do I want to be famous and DJ? Absolutely not. Do I enjoy playing music for my friends? Yes, it's fun.
Yep.
But
And it's funny that you mentioned that because I now know how to DJ. I did not expect that to be, the route that I was taking, but it just ended up having like we had someone needed a slot filled 2 days before an event, and I was like, just teach me what I need to know. We'll pull off a quick back to back and make it work. And then, we got me and P for Parker are bad bunnies.
okay.
But
Cool.
it's not really anything that I'm trying to pursue or anything. I honestly, my favorite part is being able to put it all together, like the lineup, the graphics and stuff, and like see it all come to life. I think that is where I get like the most enjoyment out of it. I'm not a DJ.
That's what
Yeah.
I keep saying, but yeah, I keep getting asked to play shows and I'm like, I guess. I
Yeah.
guess. But I keep
Yeah.
calling myself a baby DJ. I'm like, I'm a baby DJ.
Baby
Which
DJ.
my boyfriend has produced and DJ'd for like, I think he just hit 25 years. And he
Oh,
was in
wow.
Europe while he was up and coming DJ. So he was like techno world. He's a little bit older than me.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so now I came from like dubstep world. I actually took him to Wakan, which is like was not his music at
The complete
all.
opposite.
And
Yeah.
now he's like deep, dark, and dangerous. Like he has so much deep, dark, and dangerous stuff. It's hilarious to me. And then I'm the opposite where I'm like, what is this techno? Like, what is this? Like, I love this. It's so cool. And it's been really cool to like blend and like learn a lot more about genres and things. And I have discovered, hopefully I don't get hate and shade for this, but I have discovered I don't love hours of drum and bass. That's too much for me.
Okay, okay. Hey, everyone has their taste, you know. I do like a little bit of everything. Whenever my boyfriend first started, you know, getting into EDM and exploring into his own, he loves hardstyle, and that was the last thing that I thought. You know, he was in the shower like, dun dun dun. I'm like, who
It's
are
intense.
you? You know, and it's so funny because now him and his coworker, who we've also introduced to EDM, they have gone in on a board and they're learning how to DJ. So I'm just
Cool.
like, when at what point in my life did everyone I know hang out with become a DJ?
Literally.
You know, like I'm cool with it. You know, y'all make the art. You know, we'll promote it and stuff. But you know, I was just having a conversation with a friend the other day, and I was like, I think the formula is why Yaya's has been so successful in Arkansas is because I'm not a DJ. So because I am not a DJ, I'm not focused on like putting my music out there, doing anything like that. And I think that's like the secret sauce because I'm not a DJ, I'm allowing for all these other DJs to be able to come out and show their art and stuff. And I just think that's so cool because I've never really considered myself an artistic person. I've always been like, was it left brain? You know, numbers, managerial duties, stuff like that. And I love being able to like have a platform for others to do their stuff. Because I mean, not only am I admiring, you know, other people are admiring it. And, you know, I think that's where my specialty comes in, you know, is being able to put it all together and showcase that for other people. And that's been honestly the best part to me because like you know, before I was working from home, I wasn't really doing much with myself and I really felt stuck in life. And now it's like a completely like a 180, you know, and there's so much growth waiting for Yaya's. And I'm like, dang, like we did that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I definitely know what you mean too. I feel like I'm more of like a behind the scenes kind of person and I like being behind the scenes. Even like being on our stage, well, actually both years, being on the stage, like walking on the stage, whether it's like someone's performing or whatever, I'm always like, am I allowed to be up here? And they're like, yeah, this is literally your festival. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know, it feels weird, and I also think I've got some stuff to work through on, like, being seen, but, you know, it's okay, we're working on it. But I with, like, DJing, I feel like I would have fun, like, making mixes. I actually was talking to this is top secret information. I was talking to
Ooh.
my boyfriend the other day, and I was like, I kinda wanna record some vocals, like, me, of my voice,
Ooh.
and then I just, like,
Yeah.
give it to him, and he makes a song, and we just put it out. We don't even tell anybody, like, "Do you like this song? Because it's my voice." Because I remember I was always in, like, choir and, like, the church. I was always singing, and I haven't really besides in the car, obviously, like, I'll belt out some songs, especially my emo songs. That's really where I started to get into music is, like early I guess it would be like early 2000s emo music. I don't know. But, yeah, so I was like, "Maybe we'll just record some vocals and we'll make a song, we'll just throw it out there, and we won't even tell anyone it's me." So, maybe you'll hear that soon.
Look, I feel like that's almost the perfect way of doing things now because I don't know, like I don't know if you've heard like the evil eye saying, but once if you put something out there before you actually come to create it, there's, you know, weird energy out there before it even gets to happen. And sometimes it doesn't even come to like life, you know? So I'm like a firm believer. And I've seen it happen with like my own things, you know, like personal life and stuff. And I'm like, I'm not, you know, I like to do like not in secret or anything, but in private. so that whenever, I am ready to announce, it's like, boom, this is happening. Actually, it's already happening and you're already just finding out about it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's why lots of people talk about like you said, not really in secret, but working on your projects and then giving it to the world. And that's why I'm like, I'm making all of my Goddess Awakening team this year sign NDAs, which we've never done before, which feels really official and weird, but also like no one's mad about it, you know? But it's
No.
like, I don't want anyone to know who's playing the festival until we say who's playing the festival. You know what I mean? Like, I want it to be like, okay, year 3, here's what we got. And also it's
Yeah.
like, I want people to really come to the whole festival. Like, we even talked about not selling day passes this year, which we'll see if we do that because that's a bold move, obviously. But it's like, we want people to come for the whole experience. Like, we're playing an opening ceremony and we're going to set intentions, and then we're going to have a closing ceremony, which we did last year and it was really beautiful. But like, I don't want people just to come for that one headliner on Friday. You know what I mean?
Right.
So we'll
And I
see.
think
We'll
this is
see.
where like you and me connect, because one of the biggest things that I've wanted out of our events is for it to not just be an event. I want to create an experience. I want to create something where people are like, dang, like how, like where did this come from, or like something like that, and I think that's where like the magic is at, honestly, because anyone can throw a dubstep show, anyone can throw a house music show, but it's like, okay, the how is the lineup curated? Okay, the light programs, can we mess with it? Can we make it look like a different mood in here or something like that? And that's where like, the people that you have working on your projects with you like really matter, because if they don't have those intentions, or if they don't have that energy, something's going to be off. Something's going to be weird, So it's all like a little like a puzzle piece, you just got to bring the puzzles together.
It's funny. I actually was talking about we're hosting, or I guess we're hosting a Road to with Dance Fest in Norman, and then the next day we're doing a Goddess Awakening collab with Unity, their new like brand. And I was talking about, I was like, we should just have like a puzzle set up. Like, I feel like people might want to go play with a puzzle. I don't know. So maybe
Yep.
we'll have a puzzle there.
And I think, that just also like it's part of like the community building aspect of things. Like people go to a show, they want the music and stuff, but once you like have like stations of activities, or like we've had like candy stations at some shows, like it's so cute just walking around and seeing people like laughing and like making like crafts together while you hear the bass thumping in the background, and it's just like, oh, like what would we do if we didn't have this here, would we all just be at our houses like not really doing anything? Or so it's beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to be spending more time in Arkansas this year. We've got a whole lot of things planned, and some I'm not going to announce yet, but we got some exciting things happening this year outside of just planning events and making some big moves for 2025. And I've lived in Oklahoma most of my whole life, and I've I haven't really found my community circle here. I'll say that. So I feel like a lot of my friends are kind of all over the place, but I feel like a lot of people that I've connected with in the last couple years, especially, and continue to connect with, are in Arkansas. So I'm excited to start to be more of a part of that community and like connecting with people like you and the House of Unts group and Jordan and just lots of really cool people that I've got to connect with in Arkansas. So
Yeah, I've learned that like not like people just end up here. Just like how I did, and like so many other my friends, like they could be from Texas or something, but they somehow ended up here, and they're like, we're not really trying to move right now. So I think with that, and just like, you know, the main like motivator for me was like, I don't want to have to travel to Dallas. I don't want to have to travel to Kansas City. I don't want to have to keep traveling to just go enjoy the music that I like. So why not we just bring that here? And recently I had a conversation with a friend. They're like, I don't think that if you weren't from Miami or South Florida, that you would be like as successful as you are, because you bring in ideas that other people here won't even think about. You bring in like energies and vibes and like, and I've noticed that from like other coordinators and stuff. Like most likely, they are either not from here or they're like, their family is like, isn't from here, something like that, to where I'm like, okay, I see where your like fresh ideas and your vibe comes from.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I like that. I
Yeah.
like that a lot. Fun fact, you said something that reminded me of it. I'm going to keep this vague as well, but I was applying to do a space with Goddess Awakening at a festival that was to be held in Arkansas. And one of the local Arkansas groups told the festival owner that she isn't even from here. And it reminded me of like Mean Girls, like she can't sit with us.
She can't sit with us. Man, I'm just a hater.
I got the gig. Exactly. I got the gig. It was fine, but it's funny. So.
No, and honestly, like without those like new ideas and stuff and fresh perspectives, like it's gonna be the same thing all over again, and people get bored of that shit,
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I definitely do.
Mm-hmm.
I need a reason to come out of my comfortable home couch space with my animals.
Yeah, one of like whenever we start planning events and stuff, I'm like, okay, is this something that I would go to?
Mm-hmm.
Would I pay this amount of money to go to this? Would I, and that's, that's a motivator, honestly, because if not, then what's the whole point? So,
right. Exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, awesome. It's been really good to get to know you more. So thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. This was fun. I had no idea what to expect, but this is just, girls
hanging out,
sipping.
Yeah. So where can where can we follow you and find out more about your events coming up?
So we have the Yaris Productions Instagram. We also have a Facebook page, and that's really where most of the information comes out. And soon we'll be having our own ticketing website. So I'm really excited about.
Very nice.
Yes, and just keeping most of those fees and all that in-house and, budget wise and stuff. So there's a lot of big things coming up that are going to really help us make like our mark in Arkansas. And I was talking, to a friend recently, and I was like, I think we're in our reign here. You've had to take over a year, people found out about you and all that. Now it's time to like reign and take advantage of all like the connections and networking that we've been doing and stuff. So it's gonna be a good year.
Yeah, I feel that too. Lots of connections being made. I've had like 12 Zoom calls just this month already with just awesome people. So really excited for all of the fun things that are coming up.
Yes, and we will actually. Last year, I had a wedding to go to, so I wasn't able to make it to Goddess Awakening. This year, I'm not letting anything else take up my calendar space.
Yeah,
and
love it.
I'm really excited, to be a part of it and just really take in the experience.
Yeah, I'm excited because, I know I can learn some things from you, and hopefully you can get inspired by some of the things that we're doing. And the collaboration part for me feels really exciting this year, just with, like I said, the awesome people that I'm connecting with, and especially women who are, producing these events. That's the best part for me.
And that's how you grow, collaborating with like-minded groups and people and bringing your energy and their energy together. I think it's like, that is probably my favorite part of last year, because we connected with so many groups and some people that have like the same idea and the same like push to be able, to create events like this. So it's really cool to watch. Like I, back in my days, was a community organizer for the Democratic Party of Arkansas. So wow. I've seen this before, but like not in a cool way, in like a political way. So it's nice to like, I don't know, just be like, dang, like we've all been doing this and we're all doing a great job at it.
Yep, I feel that. All right, well, go check out Yaris Productions on the socials, and we'll make sure to post your links and your favorite photo whenever we post this episode. So
yes,
keep an eye out.
Yes. Thank you. Alrighty, bye.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Goddess Awakening. Check out our link tree in the description for all our socials and upcoming events. This podcast is brought to you by the Possibilities Podcast platform.